Thousands of founders, investors, and other professionals are in New York today for Ascent, a two-day conference focused on bringing together leaders in the tech community. Yahoo Finance's Emily McCormick is here in New York City. She's at the conference and joins us with more. Emily?
Hi, Adam. I'm here with Andy Yang, the CEO of Indiegogo, a San Francisco-based crowdfunding platform that has since raised $1.6 billion collectively for 800,000 people since inception in 2008. Now, Andy, you're going to be giving a talk about the new age for Indiegogo.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about what that actually is?
Sure. When we talk about Indiegogo and the future, we're talking about the 3 C's, so content, commerce, and community. And so some of the things that I want to bring into the community are fostering that sense of togetherness and that conversation on Indiegogo.
And one of the things that people might not know about you is that you are the largest U.S.-based crowdfunding platform in China. Over 3,500 Chinese entrepreneurs have raised over $150 million on the platform.
Yes.
What does that environment actually look like with some of the tensions that we're seeing between the U.S. and China?
Sure. So a lot of entrepreneurs are figuring it out. So everyone's trying to take it day by day, tweet by tweet. And understand really the environment. So we know that it's going to be uncertain. It's going to be the new normal. But what a lot of the entrepreneurs over there are saying is, well, I need to get my brand out to the North American, European markets with our help, with the Indiegogo brand. And then also they're working on domestic demand as well. So how do they improve their production capacity, their marketing, their branding? And so that's the key focus for them.
So what have been the biggest changes that you've seen for these Chinese-based entrepreneurs between 2015 when you launched that pilot program and now? Have you seen an impact on demand on the U.S. consumer side or on the Chinese entrepreneurship side?
To be honest, we haven't seen too much of an impact. What we've seen is the source or the type of Chinese entrepreneurs, what the original equipment manufacturers, the OEMs, are starting to think through, like, hey, we have to create our own brand. And so they're looking at places and platforms that can amplify that brand. And so what we can do on behalf of Indiegogo is help them turn their manufacturing capabilities into that branding and that marketing expertise.
Do you have any plans to expand that program to other geographies? Are you seeing entrepreneurship opportunities arising in Europe, other parts of the world?
Absolutely. Entrepreneurship is a global phenomenon. We're seeing a lot of great demand in North America, Europe. Latin America, not so much, but that's potentially a focus of ours. Other regions in APAC, so outside of China, we're starting to see South Korea, Singapore, Vietnam, Taiwan really become part of the forefront.
What would you say is the biggest difference between some of the products and services that are launched on Indiegogo by U.S.-based entrepreneurs versus around the world?
Sure. I think if we're looking at the Asia-Pac region, we're looking more at consumer electronics, consumer gadgets, kind of their bread and butter, what they've been known for. And for North American, it's not quite like a core focus on consumer electronics, but we're seeing a lot of strength in like comic books, more of the creative demand. And so what we've seen is a lot of these creative industries getting a lot more kind of prominence.
Let's talk about just Indiegogo and your business itself.
Sure.
Last year, your predecessor, David Mandelbrot, had told Fast Company that you guys might be profitable this year in 2019.
Yes.
Is that still something that you're pacing towards?
Absolutely. So, the last couple of months we've been profitable, and so it's a huge testament to the team, and this is a hard-fought win for the team. So yeah, absolutely, that's our path, and so I think a lot of tech startups are now looking at profitability as the new wave, and so that's something we definitely capitalized on.
And you're a platform that raises money or helps raise money for startups. Are you planning on doing any more fundraisers yourself?
Yeah, that's definitely in the plans. We don't know the timing yet, so the macro environment is kind of choppy for fundraising right now. So it's definitely something I don't rule out, but we don't need it right now. We're cash flow positive, profitable. So yeah, it's definitely like we'll take it as it comes.
Great. And we've also seen a lot of exits on the consumer side.
Yes.
Looking like an IPO. Mm-hmm. You guys are now more than a decade old. Is that something that you're eventually targeting for Indiegogo?
Eventually. I think if we're to start to plan out the future, maybe that's 5 to 7 years out. Again, we just want to kind of take it quarter by quarter, day by day, and not plan too far in advance in terms of like exits or liquidity. So yeah.
And what would you say is the biggest challenge facing Indiegogo right now?
I think a lot of the macro environments. So, whether you believe what some of the pundits are saying, if there's a recession on the horizon, there's definitely consumer demand. We're driven by consumer demand and making sure that consumers want to fund the campaigns that are on our platform. So I would say like the macroeconomy is the biggest risk.
Do you think that the consumer is still strong right now when you look at just the demand that people have for some of these products launching on Indiegogo, especially in the U.S.?
Yeah, I would say absolutely there's strong consumer demand. It's just, 3 to 6 months out. I think we're starting to see signs that just general observations off Indiegogo in terms of the macro environment getting a little bit choppy. And so I think consumers will be a little bit more confused. The 2020 elections will play a huge part in that. So whenever there's uncertainty, I think my thesis is consumer spending goes like a little bit tighter.
Absolutely. All right, Andy Yang, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Adam and Julie.
And from the Ascent Conference, thank you, Emily.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.